Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Plachetka, clinical social worker. In the United States, workplace bullying takes place everywhere, in medicine, in education, in politics, in business, in law, pharmaceuticals. Any workplace is open to the opportunity for workplace bullying. It is currently not illegal at either the federal or the state level to engage in workplace bullying. Several states have attempted to pass a law. At this point, to my knowledge, none have passed. And I think it's interesting that workplace bullying is not an individual, it's not an isolated event. We know that the target and the bully are going to be affected. We also know that so are the witnesses, the people who are also in the environment, who observe what's going on and dislike it. They can see that something is wrong and they can't intervene. The system, though, also is affected by the bullying. Customers who have never witnessed it, consumers who use the product or the service are affected. In addition, so are our families, our communities. Anyone who we come in contact can be affected by workplace bullying, by transmission. So we wonder then, what is the impact of workplace bullying? Now I'm going to read this list to you. The impact: mental health issues, physical illness, sleep problems, social issues, lack of trust in relationships, emotional distress, relationship distress like in established relationships, marriages, partnerships, parenting, those kinds of things, and inability to perform duties at work, at home, or in the community. Cognitive issues: can't think, can't be creative, can't remember, those are symptoms. Financial stress, substance abuse, suicidal ideation, action in it, sometimes even completion. Now, of course, we're not surprised that the target of the bullying behavior might have these symptoms. However, it does spread throughout the community. These characteristics, the same list, can be found in persons who have not been directly involved. If you know or are closely associated with someone who has been involved with workplace bullying, you too can develop the symptoms. And once you have the symptoms, you can transmit them to the people you know and love. So the question is, how does it spread? We know with physical illness, it's viruses and bacteria that are spread person to person that transmit the disease. Unlike these illnesses, though, the illnesses caused by workplace bullying are stress-related and are transmitted energetically. So let me explain. Our bodies are designed to survive. As a result, in the back of our brain, there's a very primitive part that is picking up things without words. It responds just to threats, responds physically. And so at any emotional, physical, or identity threat, the back of our brain, that primitive part, sends a message that dumps adrenaline and cortisol into our bodies. And that's getting our body ready to respond to the threat. Without our cognition being involved, without our decision-making process, we can either fight, flee, freeze, submit, or align. We don't get to choose, it just does it. It's the way it's wired. Now, the thing about adrenaline and cortisol is that it's designed to be short-lived. You're supposed to be able to escape the danger, shake it off, and go back to life. That's not what's happening in workplace bullying. By definition, workplace bullying takes place over months and sometimes even longer. So we know that adrenaline and cortisol is dumping and dumping and dumping. As a result, our bodies wear down. Now, the other thing we need to know is the way it's spread. Scientists and researchers have been able to measure the energy field around us. And I'm not talking auras or chakras or anything like that. It's electrical energy that can be measured and develop a graph that has like different types of peaks, like rounded peaks, pointy peaks, that kind of thing. And they can tell by looking at the graphs if it's a positive or negative. So if it's positive, it's pleasant, engaging, supportive energy. There's a love to it. There's an inclusiveness, creativity. If it's sharp and angular, there's it's not trusting, it's suspicious, it's exclusive, and it's very difficult to engage and be collaborative. Now, we don't go around thinking about this energy. We're totally unaware of it. But that unconscious energy helps us stay safe. Think about a time you've walked into a meeting and there was an atmosphere in the room. People might have been talking, might have sounded friendly, but you thought, something's not right. And it came from your gut up. That's an example of energetic transmission. Or when you walk by a place and you think, I need to move on, this seems dangerous. That's an example of energetic transmission. So under stress, when the energy is unwelcoming and feels negative and we're in it, we don't want to engage. We don't want to be collaborative. We can't be creative. And so the system continues. Now, when you're feeling that way, you're feeling negative and you can't do any of these things, and you go home, you get to share it with your spouse, your partner, your children, your parents, your siblings, the dog. Sometimes you share with the person at the grocery store or the bank, your neighbor. Those things, when we feel that way and we cannot change, those things continue. Now, what's really important is what the therapeutic response is. As therapists, we know that the first thing we do is assess. We want to know what's going on and why are you here? Sometimes what clients bring to us is an internal process related on past experiences, and we address it as such. We remind people about the past, we teach new strategies, those kinds of things. But when it's a situation that you cannot control, the first thing we do, the very first thing we do is validate. Sometimes things are out of our control. Workplace bullying is real, and you're not crazy. Often people, when they've come from situations like this, have tried everything they know. And because nothing works, they begin to question their sanity. So after validation, we want to educate about workplace bullying, about the importance of establishing vital health routines. We have to get our physical health back. Without our physical health, adrenaline and cortisol keep coming. And we have to teach about boundaries. Professional, gracious, appropriate, how to communicate them, where to get support, and how to leave if that's the only thing that's going to work, because sometimes it is. And then support change in the individual. Develop personal confidence strategies, restore their identity, and identify opportunities for change. The truth is, workplace bullying is real. Adults do bully other adults. And they bully them at the place where it's their very identity, the factors and the characteristics and the gifts that they can offer the community, they start hammering away at it. So it's real, it's pervasive, we're not alone. It's such a relief for so many victims of workplace bullying, targets of workplace bullying, to realize that they are not alone. It's transmitted energetically. So you can't blame them, they can't blame themselves for not having picked it up. And it requires a unique response. Workplace bullying is real. It's important to correct it. It's time to act. I'm clinical social worker, Dr. Beth Plachetka.